All right. Hello, everyone. We are back here, of course, once again in the new episode of A Conversation with Kely. This, of course, is episode 9. And similar to the last double eviction, we figured that we would do a episode basically talking about everything that's leading up to it, even though this is a fake double eviction and it's not, it's not actually like a legit one. We still wanted to be able to talk about everything. We're probably going to speed a bit quicker through things. So I think we'll just get into right now. So our guest today, we had 2 guests on for the last episode before double eviction. So we have 2 guests on today. You have us, the couple, but we also have another couple that is on today. We have AJ and Derek. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Hello.
doing good.
Doing good.
Great to have both of you on here. So I think before we start things off, just brief thoughts on what you guys think of this Big Brother Canada season so far, all that stuff. Either of you can start.
I've really enjoyed the season. I think that honestly, there hasn't been anyone that I've really disliked. Every single person that's been out, even if I've been rooting against them or rooting for them, regardless, I've liked them, which isn't always the case when you watch Big Brother. So it's really refreshing to see that this season.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, it's been a very likable cast for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely been enjoying this season. I took a break after BB Can 5. Kind of just watching on feeds and stuff, Twitter. But this season, I definitely started getting into it since it took a break last season because of COVID, and now they're back. It's nice to support it with a smaller cast too, so it's really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely been a really strong season for sure. And this week in particular is absolutely insane. I don't think we've seen a week quite like this, especially at this point of the game in Big Brother in a while. This is truly the most unpredictable week possible. I've heard people say it, and I will agree. It feels like fan fiction at this point. It feels like a brand deal. It's absolutely insane what's going down, but we're just going to get into it. Like I said, we might rush through some things a little bit quicker, but that's just because we want to get to this episode. We want to see how this episode is going to play out. So we're just going to get right into it. So starting off with Monday's events, we see Kiefer is very shocked that he actually survived. He knows that the sauce isn't actually going to take him, though. This gets him to really doubt their loyalties at this point. He says he's willing to go for them if he needs to. And Tera is very excited to be the HOH, considering that the trio has been steamrolling. And Kai says that this is worst case scenario for them, considering that they put her on the block 2 weeks ago and they just sent Tina home. So she makes all 3 members of the sauce have-nots, which is pretty predictable. I think we probably expected that she was going to do that, especially with the way things ended up turning out. But we find out that before the eviction, Kiefer actually talked to Tera and said if they were wanting to go to war with her, it has in fact begun. He says he's with her, and so is Breydon. This is the war, and she is the general. So they make it very clear, we are definitely going after that trio this week. And Kiefer talks to Breydon and Tera, and they all celebrate Tera's win. And she says that they need to make them all sweat, and they feel that this can be a really strong 3 to take them all to the end. And what did you guys think of how Kiefer, Breydon, and Tera did things this week? Because I think this is a really, really strong 3 for sure that could take all of them far.
I think they are a strong 3, but I don't see them working together just because they don't really clash, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I 100%. I see logically it makes sense that the 3 of them would work together. And I think for that reason they will. But I also I don't really see. I don't know, because we've seen Breydon all season. He has just floated to where the power is and just sucked up to them. And I mean, it's worked and it's gotten him to final 6. But if one of the trio wins, well, not trio, it would be a duo next week, but or whatever. If Beth is to win HOH again this next week, he's gonna go right back to her. He's not gonna sit with Kiefer and Tera and just be like, well, whatever happens, I'm sticking with you guys. So they are working together as a group for this week, but
yeah.
Also it's so late game that I think late game, so much strategy is different. And it's always week to week, but especially now at this point, it's who in this week is willing to work together to get out a target, not who is willing to work together to make it to the end.
Yeah, it's very much a voting block, I feel like. I think the three of them this week are working together, but like you said, don't know if it's going to last the entire the rest of the game for sure. Very, very doubtful of that. But the Sauce is feeling very worried because they already did really bad in the comp to begin with, and now they feel there's no way they're getting out of this week alive. Now, Jed feels this worst case scenario, and Beth says that the 4 is done no matter what after this. She makes it clear, like, Kiefer is not with us. We need to abandon him entirely, and this is weird logic to me, considering they just kept Kiefer and now they're willing to like discard him entirely. And I get it, but then I'm also thinking, like, why did you keep Kiefer if you weren't going to continue working with him? It's just really weird overall. A lot of things that the Sauce does, though, are very weird this week. This is definitely this is not a unique circumstance at all. There's just a lot of their logic this week is just not really making sense. But Ty thinks it is pretty clear that they are going to go up this week, and Jed thinks that the only scenario that they can't get out of, because they haven't touched the block yet, he doesn't think that they're going to be able to get out of this, and he feels that they're at risk this week, and they hope that Tera puts only one of them up so they can control the votes and survive the week. And we see Tera, while they're talking, is able to hear their entire conversation, and they lay out all the scenarios of what she could do in which she'd be good until Final Four if she didn't snipe one of them. And again, I mean, Tera literally heard this entire thing. So, like, if they were already fucked, they definitely are after this conversation because of just how badly it made all of them look here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that honestly, it just comes to the fact that the Sauce, and I fucking hate saying that, it's such a stupid ass alliance name.
Yeah.
But I think that the Sauce is just so used to the fact that they've been in power that they were just like, we can do whatever and it's going to be fine. And so they were like, we can keep Kiefer and we can get rid of Tina and it doesn't matter. But you can't, like, you can't load the barrel, point it at Kiefer, and then just say, oops, never mind, and expect it to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to go back to you guys. Like, very, very dumb gameplay by them, and it's biting them in the ass, because they are now in a situation where they could be good, but they're not going to be because Kiefer's pissed off.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's especially weird because, like, he gives them that whole pitch and everything of why they should keep him. And they're just like, haha, yeah, fuck you. And it's like, why did you even keep him if, like, you were going to do that to him? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And again, I think it's really the downfall of just the Sauce overall.
Jen and Beth talk out how they're going to survive this week. They plan to get to the final 5, and Beth proposes that this week they lie to Tera and that she is willing to backdoor Jed or Ty, but really it is an effort to save one of them to protect the Sauce.
Yeah, Beth does a lot this week here, and it's questionable whether or not it was necessary for her to do as much as she really did.
It's either going to be a resume move for her, or she's going to be fucked next round.
Yeah, this could either be like the best thing she does, or it could be like the downfall of her entire game.
Mm-hmm. She goes to Tera and tells her that she wants to go to Final Four with her, but Tera says it would not be beneficial to go with her, Jen, or Ty, and Beth says that she would be willing to cut one of them this week and isn't here for a boyfriend. Tera says she wants to take the shot, but also wants to make sure it hits.
Right, which makes sense, obviously, considering considering the way things played out.
Kiefer tells Tera he is all in the plan, and they just need Breydon to. And he comes in, and Tera says there's no way the trio is surviving. And Kiefer says the 3 of them should be the new trio, which is, I mean, it's either good or bad for Kiefer's game.
Yeah, again, I think they're more of a voting block than anything.
I think so too. They probably are only.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to last after this week.
I feel like it's only going to last this round, and that's it.
Yeah.
They say they don't perceive Ty as a threat because of how many comps he's lost, but Beth and Jed have far more obvious paths to the end, and Tera says she doesn't know who her target is. They just need to be dismantled, and Kiefer then tells Tera about the Sunsetters, which, I mean, it could be a smart move for him.
Yeah. Oh, Derek's back. I didn't know where he went.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
The only reason
he discarded this for like the sauce discarded Kiefer.
Oh no.
Kiefer
but yeah, no, in terms of the Sunsetters, I don't know if that was the best move either, but he had already told Breydon, so I guess it made sense that he told Tera.
Yeah. And also, it was going to come out eventually.
Yeah.
Kiefer tells Ty he doesn't need the 4 anymore, and Ty says he doesn't see a scenario where one of the 3 of them isn't targeted, and he says there's a possibility she could backdoor him. And Kiefer says the best smartest decision for both of them going forward is to work with Bray, and he knows he isn't going anywhere this week. He says there is no way he wins over Beth and Jed, and Ty is unsure whether or not he is willing to turn against his alliance.
Yeah, for me, I thought Ty played the best out of everyone in terms of the sauce. I really love the way that he is playing here. I love that he is so willing to go for one of them and go with others because it is probably the best thing for his game at this point. You know, he can't be playing for Jed and Beth when it's clear that the 2 of them would probably take each other over him. So it makes sense for him to start, you know, and he's already like done a good job with his social game. Like he's had a good relationship with say like Breydon and things like that. But this is going to get him in further with like Tera and Kiefer, and I think get him closer to the end. So I was very impressed by Ty this week.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I can see him winning if he's in the final 2.
I can too.
Ty says he views the house as a game of chess, and in this game he is the bishop and he has to go after the king and queen, and the goal of chess is to hit checkmate, and all he has to do is make moves to hit it.
Yeah, I loved this whole thing where he's talking about chess and he's talking about, you know, how everyone is like a different chess piece. It shows how good his game awareness is. He has a really good read on things, and I think that's going to take him really far. What'd you guys think of Ty's gameplay this week?
I think it's smart that he's going, if everything he's been saying to Tera and Breydon reigns true, and he's looking to get rid of Jed, and this plan has been consistent throughout this entire week, and he's just been playing that the way that you're supposed to play Big Brother, then yes, Ty is playing the best game in the house right now. But if anything changes and Jed does stay this week, the power then falls back into Jed and Beth's hands, and then it's a topic for them. So Ty definitely has a chance to win Big Brother right here tonight with this choice.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is a make it or break it thing for him.
And I think for him too, I think he's in a better position than some of the other people because he has Kiefer, and with the way Beth's been acting this week, he has Beth, and I think Tera trusts him a lot more than Tera trusts Breydon, because like I said prior, Breydon has shown to flip-flop between sides.
He's been playing Breydon too.
Yeah, and he also has Breydon because of his game, because of his relationship with him. But I think that logically it makes way more sense for Tera to have Breydon as a closer number. Tera just doesn't have as much trust with him because of his back and forth flip-flopping through this game. Whereas this is Ty making his stance to make a move.
Yeah, I think Ty is we've said it for a couple weeks now, but I think he is definitely in one of the best positions. He shows this week that he continues to be in one of the best positions, and at this point I feel like he's one of the big contenders to win right now. If things go his way, especially, I really do think he's probably going to end up very far in this game. I could very much see him getting there. But we get this moment where Beth is talking to herself and says that this week she's going to let Jed think this is a part of his move, but really it's hers. And again, it's a matter of, is she really doing too much here because Jed comes in and tells her that he feels the best scenario is to put one of them against Bray. And Beth says that the plan should be to backdoor him and get her and Breydon up there. And Beth then goes to Ty, says that she's going to go to Breydon and convince him that they're going to backdoor one of them. Ty doesn't feel that Breydon would sit on the block voluntarily. It just doesn't really seem like something that he'd do. And Ty doesn't really feel in any way that this is actually going to happen, where he goes on the block and thinks Beth herself should just go up. And I agree. I don't know why Beth, thought that this was going to work out with Ty, someone that's never sat on the block before and someone that they could easily snipe if they needed to because he's never been on the block before. Beth has also not ever been on the block before. So I don't understand why she overplayed in the way that she did. I mean, I just felt she did way too much here. But what did you guys think? Because I really felt she was just kind of all over the place this week.
She was.
You could tell she was very just clearly like, wow, I don't have power this week. I don't know what's going to happen. I see my game in danger. Let me just fucking throw everything at the wall. And if something sticks, something sticks. And I think for her, I mean, she just got lucky that people were like, let's try and fucking risk it to see if we can get Jed out instead. Because even though I think Beth has a good enough game, it's not up to par with Jed or Ty, but she believes that it is. So she's willing to go as hard as she can to try and stay because she feels she has a winning game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's given her this like boost of confidence. I feel like since her HOH, she's been saying things like, "Oh, I'm the baddest bitch in the house" and things like that. And it's like, not really. There's things that you've done for sure, but your resume compared to Jed and Ty's is quite small. And it felt like she was trying to do everything she can to show like, no, this is my move. This is what I'm doing. And the problem is not that she's doing it. It's the fact that she's doing it in such an obvious manner where Kiefer basically can tell that Beth is cooking something up. And he talks about how like he has this plan. He knows her plan to volunteer that Bray is going to go on the block. And she goes to Breydon and asks if he feels good about backdooring Jed. And she says she doesn't know if he'd go up as a pawn because she wouldn't want to piss both Jed and Ty off. And Breydon feels this the worst possible pitch. Like he is not into this at all. He thinks that if Beth feels he's going to do this, he's completely delusional, which, I mean, he's right. Like, there's no way that Breydon would sacrifice his game and put himself on the block like that because he knows this would just be a move to continue to keep the trio steamrolling. And, wisely, he's not here for that, which I'm glad to see. I think for a while it seemed like Breydon was working very closely with the trio, but he did do something smart this week in realize like, I can't really work with them right now. This is our time to get him out. And I think, again, that's a good resume move for Breydon is that he worked with the people that were in power until it was necessary for him not to. And I think that is definitely working out for him so far. So she goes to Tera and she says she's trying to avoid putting her on the block this week. Beth explains to her the plan. Tera says that everyone needs to start thinking about their game. And Beth says she wants to be in the final four with her. So it isn't one girl and all guys. Beth says she trusts her the most. I'm over here not even being able to understand what the fuck Beth's truth really is at this point because she's just saying different things to everyone.
I feel like she's just trying to like stay safe.
No, exactly.
Even in the DR, we know where Beth's head is at. Is she going after Jed? Is she just going to play it safest? We can get rid of Breydon. Where is she at? We don't know going into what 15 minutes into the eviction tonight. So
yeah, no, exactly. It's just like it's so unclear.
It's giving me very Nicole Franzel BB22 vibes.
Oh
Beth.
gosh,
not that, not that at all. Is she gonna get cut at 3? Is it?
She's riding the coattails, is she not? She's really just if she makes it. It's the Holly game. It's Nicole Franzel game. She's playing it perfectly. She gets mad when she gets put on the block. She plays really hard, and she doesn't tell you where her lies are at, her ties are at, even though it's with the showman she's in, and it's clear she's with that man, and people still think that they have her. It's crazy. So if she gets rid of him tonight, it's bonkers.
Oh yeah, it'll be a great move for her if she actually like goes through with it. But let's see if she actually.
Let's see.
Kiefer tells Tera what the plan is and that this whole thing is done so Jed will never touch the block, and Beth will convince her to put up him and Bray. Kiefer feels like she's fighting way too hard and that the trio is done, and Tera says Jed is 100% going up this week because it makes no sense to use Bray as a pawn and doesn't trust them enough to use Kiefer as a pawn because they'd vote him out.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that Kiefer like saw right through this. It shows how good he really is at the game right now, where he's like, yeah, Beth is bullshitting. There's no way that she actually wants this to go through. She's just doing it so Jed never goes on the block.
Tera decides to make Ty her Wendy's date for the week. She asks how he's feeling, and he says if he's going to win this game, certain people, meaning Beth and Jed, can't be next to him. He says he's been grouped into a trio and had no real decision-making power, and he says if he wants to win this game, he can't stand next to those two because they never will turn on each other. And if she leaves both of them in the game, there's no telling what will happen. He says if she doesn't throw Jed on the block, neither will go. He says if he wins the veto, he's not using it.
Yeah, and I really like that she made Ty her Wendy's date this week because he showed that he really wanted to work with her. He showed that he was willing to turn on the 3, and I think it definitely worked out for him for sure. And I think for Tera as well, this definitely helps her out because Ty, I think, is going to work with her moving forward. It's, we're not sure if that 3 is going to continue working together, but I do see Tera and Ty working closely together beyond this week.
Yeah, I can see it. It might work out, but I don't know if she would take him over other people. I feel like she would take like Kiefer over him.
Overall, I feel like Tera has really done a great job this week with her HOH though. Like she's made little moves to where like she's getting her target out even though he won the veto. Like and she's still getting her target out, and from we saw in last night's episode, she really made Beth believe, even though Beth doesn't like her, she made Beth believe that she wants Beth here. In reality, she doesn't want Beth there. She wants Jed gone, which I guess it means she wants Beth there, but she could care less. But she's doing these little things to make each person who's still left think she wants them. And while she hasn't had a ton of agency in this game, and the one time that she got some power, she made sure she used it right.
Yeah, I think it's still you.
Oh, right. Ty goes to Bray and Kiefer and talks about the plan. Kiefer says a backdoor can't happen when everyone's playing in the veto. And Kiefer says Beth is playing too hard and it's crazy to think they're not going to overhear the conversations.
And we get that great line with Breydon where he says, it's not a backdoor, it's a glass door. I'm going to start using that. I'm going to glass door you.
I love that.
Yes.
Tera tells Beth she is going to put up her and Jed just because she doesn't believe she is actually going to cut Jed this week. Tera says she has to think about where the game is and Tera says they both put her up, and Beth says if she goes this week, Tera will be next, and Tera says she doesn't see a scenario where she goes. Beth tells her Kiefer was going to send her home last week, and Tera says he's in no way safe, but Beth feels Kiefer and Bray are safe until Final 5.
Yeah, she says, definitely after this week, I think that's still going to ring true.
She says she felt sketched out last week and said that she threw the veto, and that now Tahai and Dad are telling her what she wants to hear, and Beth tells her that they are the new duo.
Which again, it's like so obvious that's not the case right now for Beth. Like I think like you said,
and that's
Tera
Beth blowing smoke everywhere. She's just trying to light fires everywhere, plant seeds everywhere, and that's bad jury management because all these people that go to jury talk about it, and you're going to be that person.
Right, and especially the fact she's doing it so obviously. Like, she's not subtly doing it. She's doing it so upfront. It's like she's playing for third at this point. It's so obvious she's playing for third. And, like, it sucks, but that is very much what she's doing right now.
Belonged.
Yeah, basically. I mean, Beth then tells Jed what Ty said about voting him out and asks what he said. And Ty says he never said that. And he only spoke about veto and not voting. And even though I'm pretty sure he would be willing to vote Jed out, she tells him that Tera is putting them up. And Ty says if he feels if he goes up, they're going to vote him out, which is true. They very much would do that. Ty says she absolutely wants to get rid of one of them this week. And Ty asks why she would put up Breydon and not her, because she told him he's not going up. And Jed tells Ty that he truly doesn't know what Tera's going to do. And I think Ty did a good job this week of making it clear that that they're definitely going up this week. Like, obviously they don't know how against the two of them he is right now, but he makes it clear, like, there's no way we're getting out of this. It's really good for Ty because he can't be accused of like lying if, like, say Beth is in jury or something like that, where it's like, oh, you knew about this. And it's like, yes, he knew, but they also knew. So it's like, there's really nothing that he's hiding here aside from the fact that he is willing to cut one of them. And it feels like that.
He's playing.
Yeah,
that's why Ty's playing a better game than them.
Oh, 100%. He's playing an individual game at this point, and it's really, really good to see. But Kiefer goes to Tera. She tells him that Beth is pissed over what she said. She says she felt good with Beth before, and he says that Beth is thinking that Breydon skated by isn't true at all. So then we get to the nomination ceremony. Tera pulls up no punches, and she puts up Beth and Jed right off the bat. She says she feels this is her only way to not miss the shot this week, and I thought this was the best move for her for sure. She needed to go for one of them, especially to ensure that if one of them comes off the block, one of them is still going. And I think this was definitely the right way for her to go about this for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really everything.
The trio are finally up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's everything going on for Sundays. We're now going to get into Wednesday's episode, which is a whirlwind of an episode for sure. There's a lot that really goes down here, but we see right off the bat that Jed hates the fact that him and Beth are up together. Ty is feeling that he needs to start playing for himself, as we talked about, and so he goes to check in with Tera, and she says that she hopes he can trust her actions after this. He feels that they're really starting to build actual trust this week. Like I said, I really do think these two are going to do some damage in the last few weeks of this game. And Tera tells Jed that the only reason he's sitting on the block is because he's a big threat. And if he were to use the veto, she would have to get more blood on her hands. Well, little does she know that's not necessarily the case, but we'll get into that.
Beth tries to get on Ty's good side and says that she's always liked him. He's smoothing her over, but in reality, he's ready to cut her.
Yeah, I mean, it was so obvious she was just doing this to look good to Ty at this point. And he's not for this at all. Like, he's like, I want both of you out at this point. You can tell. He's like, he's over the bullshit.
He's basically over it.
Yeah. I definitely worry for Beth in like the next couple weeks. Like, if she doesn't start winning stuff, I think she's gonna go like really soon.
Yeah. Tera goes to Beth and says that she should not be going home this week and she has to win that veto, and says that she wants to act like they're against each other. Beth seems done with her. Ty tells Bray, Kiefer, and Tera she really wants that HOH, and Tera says both noms are convinced he's going to use it. And Ty says he's tired of seeing those two together and they're convinced they will win the veto.
Yeah, did I say HOH? I meant veto. I meant to put veto there. I don't know why I said HOH.
Veto, yeah.
I like the fact that Ty, again, remains firm that, like, he's not using this veto. Like, under no circumstances he's using it. He wants one of them to go.
We love typos.
And he also wants to win the veto, too. He said, I'm going for this veto, and I'm going to win this veto. The same with Jed, because throughout their diary rooms, you can see Ty saying, I'm winning this veto, and I'm not using it for you, Tera. And then Jed saying, I'm winning this veto, and next week, when I'm still in this house, I'm coming for you, Tera. And he made that perfectly clear in his VR, and then throughout the entire competition, he said it. Which is crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Since we were at Final Six, everyone is eligible to play the veto comp this week. The comp itself is very complex, and it's all centering around like an Expedia trip type thing. First, the house guests have to solve a logic puzzle of sorts, organizing the bags in the correct order. The next part of the comp involves them having to organize the map, and ultimately, Jed ends up winning with an impressive time of 22 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, and this was definitely not what I would have expected to happen. I thought that this was going to lead to, obviously, without reading the feeds and things like that, I thought this would have led to like a tie veto or something like that. But I was I'm glad that this is the outcome, because this is where we get to the really interesting stuff for this week that I can't believe is actually happening. Because after the comp, Ty, Tera, and Kiefer agree they have to go after Beth this week. There's no way we're getting Beth out. It's happening. And Kiefer really wanted Jed out, but it doesn't seem like it's an option now. So Kiefer tells Jed most likely she is going to put up Ty. If that happens, they need to have a chat. And Jed says that the only way to put Breydon up is if they convince Tera that they will vote Beth out. And Jed says that if Beth goes out, Kiefer is his duo for sure, which is absolute bullshit. They literally just talked about how they wanted to like discard him, and now it's like, oh, you're my duo. Like, no, that's not. You don't get to do that. That's not how that works. But Kiefer tells Tera what they suggested, and she pitches to him to put up Ty and Kiefer and says that he should have won if he wanted to save himself, and that they have to ensure one of them will go. And Kiefer says that Breydon is unwavered to them and will not turn in any way. I don't like the fact they wanted to just discard Ty immediately. I don't think that would have been the best move for them, because Ty was sincere that he wanted to work with like Tera and Breydon. And so like I don't think it was smart if they I'm glad they, and that's not what ended up happening, because I don't think that would have been smart really at all, especially with all the good work they had done with him prior to that. But Kiefer goes to Tera, tells her that Breydon and Ty pitched this idea last night. So it seems like at first they're just gonna, get rid of Jed's gonna come down, they're going to vote out Beth, and everything's gonna be great. But then we get to the really good stuff that again is it's like a fever dream. I can't believe this actually happened. But Kiefer goes to Tera, tells him that Breydon and Ty pitched this idea last night for Jed to use the veto that he won on Beth. He's going to use it on Beth. And Kiefer says that if this works, they can ensure Jed goes home. Tera feels this is a crazy plan, which it is, but it could potentially work. That she's wanted to get Jed out since week 2, and this could really work. And what do you guys think of this? Like, this is just absolutely insane to me, this whole in general.
I mean, whenever someone wins the veto and they're on the block, they should always save themselves.
I mean, yeah, don't pull a Marcellus.
I definitely think that this was just crazy. The fact that like that's the best word to describe it. I get the reasoning behind it if you are looking at it like I understand, but when you look at the game big picture, which it's clear that Beth and Jed haven't really been doing that. They've been just in power this whole time, that they haven't been able to look at the game big picture, and they've just seen it's us and we're moving forward and we're going to keep going forward. So as long as one of us is safe to have a vote, we're fine. And I don't think that they realized we are so clearly obviously together and not wavering on each other, that even though we are so good with Ty, even though we feel like we're good with Kiefer, which they shouldn't, because they just pretended like they were going to get him out all last week. They still, they are clearly together, but they don't expect people to take a shot at them. And it's not like you're saying they are not amazing social players to that aspect.
No.
Jed even mentioned that why would you get rid of Breydon over Beth? Because that's what they were saying, was that Breydon would go home. And they didn't want Breydon to go home. Or no, they didn't want Beth to go home because Beth would go home next to Breydon. But if you're the two votes that are voting and Jed's off the block, that's not going home. So they're not thinking I don't know where he got logically of not using the power veto on himself, because Beth wouldn't have gone home if him and Tyre the votes. And at least if Beth goes home when you and Tyre the votes, then okay, they lied to you. They screwed you over, but you're still in the house. Tonight, if you go home, you're going to the jury house with who? Victoria? With who? Tina? Who else? Who else are you going to, come on. So
and Victoria
or you're gonna go ahead and you're
already like has something against Beth, and because it was on her HOH and things like that, and doesn't really love the way she's playing. So I imagine this is not great. This is not great at all.
The caveat will be is if with a fake double eviction, if Jed does get evicted tonight, wins that battle back, what's his game plan moving forward? Whoever's gone, if it is a Breydon or if it is a Tera, and the two people that you trusted the most in this game broke your complete and total trust, you're now in that game back with. Do you go back to them? Does that happen? I think that's going to be a real big thing moving into tomorrow, which is a really fun thing.
I thought a lot about that, and I think for Jed, like if he comes back in, it's a whole new game because the trio's dead at that point. Like there's no way the sauce is going to come back together. They're going to be it's going to be like irreparable damage after that.
It is. It reminds Micronesia, Survivor Micronesia had a few more weeks after the whole Eric thing. This is exactly what it reminds me of. Is Eric giving up his necklace at that tribal council and saying, all right, I trust you guys in getting it out. So crazy to do.
Yeah,
use it on
crazy
yourself,
stuff.
like Ali said. Use it on yourself.
The season is so cracked.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to Beth and tells her
until the next episode.
Yeah.
She goes to Beth and tells her she doesn't want her going on her HOH and wants her to convince Jed to use the veto on her, and she seems down to do it. She pitches to Jed the plan, and he tells them that if she puts up Breydon, they will have the votes to get him out. Tera feels if Beth stayed on the block, she would go against Bray. Jed says Ty would keep her on the block, but Tera feels Ty would vote her out because he feels he'd choose her over Ty.
Yeah, I mean, this plan is insane, the way they actually thought this was going to work with Breydon, because it's so obvious. Like, why would they want to get rid of Breydon? There's no reason to get rid of Breydon. He's not really a threat right now. Jed very much is a threat. So, like,
Yeah.
And also, they need to think about the fact that, like, both times Breydon's been on the block, the person has left unanimously. So, like, this was just not a great idea in any way.
That's where what Adam said. They just don't think about long game and or even past game, because I saw on Twitter that Beth was studying. She wasn't studying what happened before or after something. She was just studying what happened. It's there. It's not there.
Yeah, it's not clicking in the way that it should.
It's not clicking exactly.
It's just like, it doesn't make sense. But I think that Kiefer did such a good job at selling it. I really think that this falls a lot on Kiefer with how he sold it, that like, wow, we just brainwashed Tera to make a dumb move. When really, Jed, you are making the biggest fucking bonehead move.
Literally, he really is.
Yeah, definitely. But we see that Tera is shocked that this may actually work, but she wants to further double down on it. And she tells Jed that she didn't get the best vibes from Ty, that he'd keep Beth, and that she will absolutely put up Bray. Again, misting him into thinking like, this is best case scenario for you. You need to use this right now. And by some miracle, it actually works. Jed uses the veto on Beth per their request. Tera does put up Breydon, and we see Beth, and I think her like DR summed it all up, where she's like, she has no idea what anyone's thinking anymore, and Tera and Breydon are both confident that this is actually going to work out, and we are in for a crazy fucking fake double eviction for sure. I can't believe it.
I honestly, if he leaves and he comes right back in, it would be so funny.
I really think that, I mean, I saw a GIF going around Twitter today, and I mean, I pointed it out right when I was watching the episode to Derek. Breydon's reaction when Jed uses a veto on Beth, it's
so good.
That describes it all. It's just like,
right?
You did that? Really? Okay, girl.
I woke up to a notification of it this morning from him.
Like, it's just stupid. Like,
Yeah, and again, the fact it actually might work out, like, and Jed goes tonight, it's gonna be he's gonna feel like the biggest fucking fool with whatever ends up happening. I wouldn't even try to come back at that point. I would just be like, you know what, I fucked up. Just send me to the jury. Like,
yeah, Ty
care.
is making the smartest move here, regardless. Like, because
yeah.
Jed and Beth were clearly so much like this.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he ever get rid of Breydon, who love him? He is one of my favorites this season, but is clearly the biggest goat left. He has not done anything all season.
Yeah.
Like, it makes zero sense to get him out over Jed, who is clearly, everyone knows, everyone has been saying it. Tera last week included, saying during that HOH comp to Jed, you are playing the best game. If I am on the jury, I am voting you to win. Like, just
they misted him. He doesn't think of last week, next week, or the week after. He lives in the here and now, and they told him, all of the people that were in his ear told him something, and he did it like he's been doing every week. So that's his downfall. You live by the sword, you die by the sword in this instance.
Definitely. Well, unfortunately, we do have to wrap things up here kind of quickly because it is 8:59. The episode's going to come on very soon. But before we do wrap things up, I'm going to give both of you a chance to give your outros, plug your socials, everything starting off with AJ.
Hi, this was fun. Definitely excited to see how the rest of the season and especially tonight in the aftermath of tonight shakes out. Yeah, that. Oh wow, it got changed for me. That's my. Wow, I can't point. That's my Twitter. So if you don't follow me and you want to, go follow me. Cool. Yeah, we love that. Get me off the screen now. Thank you.
All right, Derek.
Hello, thank you, Kevin and Allie, for having me and Adam on tonight.
Yes.
And that's my Twitter right there. If you want to follow, hit the follow button. I tweet a lot about basketball and Big Brother, so if you like that kind of stuff. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'm excited to see what happens in this fake double eviction.
Yes. And with that, that's it for this video. We do kind of have to wrap things up quickly here, but thank you guys always for watching. Of course, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought of this crazy fucking week and how things are going to play out tonight. We'll see you guys probably in a couple days for our review of the actual fake double eviction and how everything plays out. And we will see you guys for that. All right. Bye.